Hey everybody, Steve here, and today, oh boy, I'm going to be getting way out of my comfort zone, way out of my ability zone. I want to do a dash fab project, inspired by a video I did with my friend Luke about a month or so ago. I'll link to the video that I'm talking about. As you can tell, my dash bezel here is missing. All right, so here's the deal. I want to add a tablet to the dashboard, right? So with the tablet, if you watch the Luke video, I can run dash command. I can get all sorts of OBD2 information, tons and tons of information from the computer of the vehicle itself, which I think is just really cool. Anyhow, so the ideal place to put this would be right here. That's where I'd love to put it, is right here. It will fit. It will require some serious dash fab skills, which I do not have. The other thing is that if I put it there, I've got to relocate this whole computer climate control center, and it would have to get relocated down here. Certainly possible, but very difficult by the fact that the wires, the wire connector that's attached to this AC unit, it's got about 30 wires, so I would actually have to splice them and resolder them just to bring it down another 12 inches or something like that. So I'm going to cheap out because I am new at this. I've never done this before in my life. So my thought is, instead of putting it where the AC is, the easiest place to put it would be right here. Still pretty cool, way down there, but it'll fit, and it will be significantly less work in terms of fabbing and everything like that. So if I back up far enough, you'll see it like that. So, but anyhow, so that is what I've decided to do. So this piece right here is held in by a couple of 10mm screws there, or maybe they're 8mm screws there and there. So that's them right there. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to fab up this piece right here so that it'll accommodate this right here. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I actually don't have a clue. I've been watching some videos by a guy by the name of Sprayway Customs who does this type of thing for a living, and I mean, his work is amazing. I'll leave a link to his work in the description of this video. You got to check out his channel. Not only is he extremely talented, but he actually shares, I mean, every step of the way on how he does these fabrication projects, dashboards, door panels, you name it. You got to just check out his stuff. So I'm at the old boneyard, and look what I found. Look at this. Oh, yes. Look at that. Perfect. So this piece I got out of a junkyard for $4. It's exactly what I need. Somebody's already fabricated it, but I'll be able to cut all that out and be able to cut it and use it for what I want to use it for. Question is, how's it going to go? What's this going to look like? Okay, it's probably important for me to mention that I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I'm just kind of faking my way through it. But I think the first thing to do is make a template of this guy right here. So that's where I'm going to start. So now the plan is to try to draw an outline here of exactly where I want this thing to be so that I can start cutting it. Alright, so anyhow, that is going to be the backing plate, which is going to be slightly larger than this. And then it's going to get all fiberglass together so that it looks pretty. All right, not having a clue what I'm doing, I'm going to do it anyway. All right, this is how not to do it. All right, so I've marked the edges around so that I know where my backing plate needs to end. So we'll see how that goes, because it's got to fit. It's got to fit within the confines of this fold right here and the other side as well. This is where we're at. It's going to sit in there like that, just like that. Can you see that on this here camera? So it's going to sit in there like that, and where I had to be careful was to keep the structural integrity of that and that, because those are the two main anchor points back into the dashboard itself. So as sloppy as this looks,
it's gonna look pretty.
I think we might be able to do something with this. Go ahead. We are going to make a square that is bigger than a square.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
While you do that, I'm gonna grab a hat.
All right, so we're all done with this project. It looks pretty good. It's nice and flush. Looks pretty amazing. So
one bolt in right there.
Yeah, one bolt.
We're good. I mean,
So we're just gonna go ahead and say, hey, shout out to everybody on the internet, and that's pretty much it. We're good to go.
That wasn't so hard.
Nah, it was easy peasy. Got my helpers. There they are. All right, brought this thing here. Brought it in. I brought it all in because it's 26 freaking degrees outside. See if we can accomplish anything in here. Okay, two things I did not take into consideration when I concocted this crazy plan. I thought I was just going to be able to slap a backing plate up there like that, affix this to here like this, fill in the rest, and be done. And, well, I did take two things into consideration. Number one, I had to take in consideration how much extra room I was going to need for this USB plug. I think it's a mini USB, whatever it's called. So I looked around the house and I even found a 90-degree one. Even with the 90-degree one, there's not enough room. So that was faux pas number one. Faux pas number two was not taking into consideration that there was plastic behind my plastic. So I'm gonna probably take this off right here, because these guys right here do not offer any structural stuff for me at this point. This part right here, essentially from here down, there's structural stuff there, there's structural stuff there, but essentially from here down, I believe this was probably for a cassette player when the cassette player was in here. I don't remember. I did a drawer conversion, got rid of the cassette player, but I think I'm gonna try to get some of this off. And I don't really know exactly how this is gonna go. All right, so from this template right here, I cut a thicker piece of wood right here. If my plan goes well, that will get fiberglassed like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square that represents the Nexus tablet, and I'm actually going to route a square big enough for that thing to go in here. At least I'm going to try to. That's the idea. Now I got to draw my square where I want this guy to go. I figure maybe he'll be about right there. Something like that. Alright, so now I have to see how far I want to route. And if that were at all legible, you would see 11 and 30 seconds. I may end up sanding that a little bit more. Obviously, got some gaps to fill in, but I'm okay with the way it is for right now. Flipping it over to the back, I need to round it off to match the contour of the plastic back there. So I started routing it, and it's still a little too sharp along this edge, so I'm just going to go ahead and file this edge down so that it will fit nicely. So there's the curvature that I was talking about right there. Try to get this to fit in there nice and flush by sculpting it. We'll see how it goes. Not sure how this is going to shape up, but that's where it's at right now. Had to cut both pieces of plastic over there to make room for the plug. All right, so I've been staring at this, trying to figure out what in the world to do with it. I think I want to make this wooden piece a permanent fixture with this backing plastic piece. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue those things two together, and then smush that down. And then I still have this piece right here, which I need to figure out how in the world I'm going to make that go on and look good. As of right now, I don't have the slightest clue. in the world how to make that look good. All right, I'm taking my mock tablet right here and I'm wrapping it in tin foil, and I'm going to put that in there so that when I put the resin on, the resin will not stick to the tin foil and I'll have that open square that I need for the tablet to sit later. All right, so there is our mock tablet in place, and figure out what to do about this guy right here. Ish, something like that. And I think it's time to start with the resin. Okay, just doing test fit to make sure I can get access to all the screws and stuff, get it back in there. Looks like I should be okay. Of course, I'm overlooking something, I'm sure of it. All right, all fleeced up. First application of fiberglass resin. All right, so I let it sit overnight, and now I'm getting ready to put a second coat on it. And we'll see how it looks afterwards. Second coat coming on. Getting ready to sand. 80 grit. This is after sanding, obviously. All right, sanded down again. I'm going to take that black stuff out. All right, I've used the glazing putty to fill in some holes, and now it's time to prime. And then I'll sand and glaze again. All right, so I went with a real light coat so that it wouldn't run. All right, it's still pretty ugly. I'm not sure exactly where to take it from here. Okay, so I hated the way it looked, and I took the Dremel to it, trying to make it look a little bit more symmetrical, trying to make it look nicer. It just didn't work. It had way too much material on both sides, and it started to look like something Fred Flintstone made out of bedrock. So I took the Dremel and the sander to it, and it looks less like Fred Flintstone had something to do with it. It's still not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to prime it, get all one color, and then reevaluate. All right, so I decided I didn't like the way it looked, so I made this line cleaner, that line cleaner, and I measured the sides to make sure that they're a little bit more equidistant. And now we're back to templates again. That's kind of our template right there, and then the thought process, it'll look something like that, with it being actually out a little bit. So that's kind of where we're at right now, trying to figure out what to do next. All right, so we have determined the exact size of the screen that we want to show. And I keep saying we because Luke is here. So we've determined this little template right here in terms of our 4 edges that we want to cut out, and we're going to go ahead and do that next. All right, so here is our template. It's looking pretty good. It's at an angle so that we'll be able to see it better inside the car. Let's go check it out. All right, so looking at it from where I will be, this is from my eye level in the car. Okay, so I have got a template that I'm pretty happy with. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer this onto some wood. All right, so the plan is to cut my inner square out first, and then the outer one. Okay, that's the rough out after the jigsaw. I'm going to smooth things out with the sander. All right, so I routed around the outside and the inside, and I don't have much experience routing, as you can probably tell. But I don't know. I guess it's getting closer. I'm just not sure. It's not plugged in right now. Okay, here I am cutting away the excess and hoping that I don't completely destroy it. All right, give myself a couple options between real thin and real thick. And with the thick one, with the thick one, the screen almost seems to be too set too far back. And with the thin one, I think I like it a lot better. So I think I'm going to go with the thin one. Tend to fill in the gaps on the sides mainly. All right, so it's been a couple of days. I tried painting it tan to match the tan color there, and it just didn't work for me, so I found some gray paint, and I painted it gray to essentially try to match that right there. And I went with black to try to match the black on some of the other things. But this is how it turned out. It's okay. It's a work in progress as far as I'm concerned. I still have the other one right there in the garage. So I'm going to use that one and continue to try to improve upon this design. But for now, it's okay. This is essentially what the whole thing looks like, with everything put back. And then, of course, the way it's kept in there is by a magnet. Essentially, there's one magnet right there, and there is one cable. So I can basically disconnect it, and I can take this out, and I can hide it. One other thing that's pretty cool about this install is that this Nexus 7 tablet has got a replacement kernel with a power management system. So normally you would think with a tablet, if you turn the engine off, the tablet would stay on and it would die. But not the case here. Basically, open the door. The tablet goes into suspension mode. And the reason for that is because of the modified kernel that will basically put it into a suspension mode. And it's basically still on but trickling. I talked to my friend Luke, and Luke says basically it'll still be good if you let the car sit for several days. And then as soon as you fire the car back up, mine is tethered to my radio, so my radio's got to come on first. But essentially it will wake back up and boom, right back on. So I can hide it when I want to hide it. I don't have to worry about the battery situation. Although it's not a thing of beauty, it's good enough for now, and I'm pretty excited about all the data that I can get out of this dash command and all the other features that having a tablet in a car offer. I'm going to have a subsequent video where I go into great depth about this tablet and the software that's running on the tablet, both from a power management standpoint and how I'm getting all of my PIDs from the OBD2. I've got a Bluetooth OBD2 over there, and it's feeding this thing with information, and it's got an enormous amount of information. So feel free to find the link to the follow-on video in the description of this video. You can learn all about all of the different things that I can do with this OBD2 controller, and obviously could play music out of the tablet, and the tablet even could go so far as replacing the stereo if I chose to do so, but I love my stereo, so I'm going to keep it for now. This was a fun build. It was frustrating at times, but all in all, it's okay. Always wanting to make make things better? And if so, I'll have a video on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for now. Please watch the next video about the tablet. And if you have any questions or comments, please do me a favor and leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and so that you can. And additionally, if you want to receive updates every time I come out with a new video, go ahead and hit that bell as well. I'm Steve, signing off till the next video. See ya.